Alright, looks like we're live on YouTube. Hello, YouTubers. Welcome to tonight's episode of Nathaniel's Barbershop Talk Daily Cut. So today, we're going to cover a few topics here. And I have my good friend here, Travis, a.k.a. Guy Plus Beard. So say hello
What's up, guys?
to my good
What's up,
friend
YouTube?
here. He is going to be a big part of this show. He's a good guy. He's got a lot of good information. So I like to keep him close in hand when it comes to researching and stuff because he knows his stuff. So thank you, Travis, for joining me tonight.
Thanks for having me, man.
Absolutely. So I know you said you had some topics you wanted to discuss right off the bat here. So I don't know if I should delay into that or just get right to it, but I'm definitely
Why don't you go ahead and kick it off, get everybody warmed up. Some of the stuff that I have to get into is a little bit
Sure.
a bit to wrap your mind around. So let's get everybody's minds let's get the warm up going first, get everybody in the mood, and then we'll get into the crazy deep stuff.
There you go. Not a problem, because I know sometimes I'll get a little excited and I'm ready to go. Like, man, what do you got? Just feed it to me. But we got to warm it up here. We got a long ways to go. We don't want to give everybody the juice out of the gate.
We don't want to start off by making them drink from a fire hose, right?
Yeah, by all means. So we got a couple of drinks here tonight. We're going to start off a little slow. There's a lot of stuff going on in the news, and I think we got a lot of things to cover. Obviously, we have local news. We have some sporting news. We have some weather. And we have some politics, obviously. Those are part of the biggest problem that we're having in our society right now. So we're going to cover a little bit of all that. But to start us off right now, how's it going? We are going to start off with just a couple of the local things. We had a little incident, I guess, last night while I was live here. I don't know if you guys remember the little sirens and stuff, but apparently we had on the road right down the street from the barbershops. The police are searching for a person of interest related to aggravated assault and attempted robbery after he and others led police on a pursuit through Central Sioux Falls, barricaded themselves inside a home Wednesday night just down the street here. Officers are searching for 18-year-old Jarius Joshua Swift Eagle, according to new release, armed and dangerous. So please do not approach him by any means. He is probably gonna, try to steal your car. Apparently, he stole a car. Somebody tried to get it back from him. He wouldn't give it back. He held him at gunpoint or something. Tried to hit him with a bear. Anyway, an arrest warrant is issued for Swift Eagle on Thursday, carrying a $100,000 cash bond for attempted robbery, 2 counts of aggravated assault, and attempted grand theft, said spokesman police Sam Clemens. Wow. I don't even know what to say. That's right down the street here. That's right,
That's crazy. It's right down the street from you, man.
Literally, you're talking 3 blocks. So I was wondering what the heck was going on, but something happened that it just kind of ended up.
Well, I don't know if a lot of people know this that are from South Dakota or from a different state, but South Dakota has legal concealed carry. You don't even need a permit for it. If you're in South Dakota, you got the legal right to conceal and carry. So
yeah, luckily, mine's never too far. That's why I always keep mine handy because we're in somewhat of a shitty neighborhood. I have to say, my dogs are just going crazy over here. Anyways, live TV, ladies and gentlemen, live TV.
Yep, anything can happen.
Right? It's part of the barbershop, so leave them in here, let them play too.
You know what else I saw on the news today? That there is some guy, it was on the Argus Leader, but you click on it and they make you subscribe to read it. But the article title was something about a guy at a playground that was threatening to kidnap kids and drug them. Like an adult.
I did see this.
Yeah. What the hell?
Yeah, that was on Argus Leader 911 also.
Yeah. Oh, time to put the pooches away. but I'll fill in. Yeah. Um, that is just unreal, real brazen. I'll tell you what. Anybody ever, if I ever caught somebody talking to my kids like that, well, they wouldn't need a lawyer. We'll put it that way. Man, alive. It's a scary world we're living in right now. Here in South Dakota, it's actually pretty, I mean, it's pretty reasonable here. We had, when all the riots started going
Say, I
on,
didn't see that
we
one
were,
coming.
I was just kind of filling in. I was getting into those, the attempted riots here in Sioux Falls, talking about, South Dakota, how it's relatively safe. But we did have some attempted riots, but we shut that down pretty quick. We don't play around like these Democratic led cities.
Yeah, we definitely love our freedoms here, and we don't want anybody pretty much treading on that.
Nope.
We want to get back to normal. We love our jobs. We love our our clients. I know I do. For example, I don't want to ever have to shut down again because of this whole thing.
I don't want you ever to have to shut down again.
Yeah.
Look at that. This is fresh.
Yeah.
If you shut down, this ain't gonna be fresh anymore, man.
I appreciate you. I just need to find somebody that'll butter me up and good to
go. Butter you up, huh? Butter your biscuit, eh?
Yeah, I don't know. I just haven't found anybody I find worthy enough to give me a cut. I mean, I'm sure there are a couple, but at the moment, I just don't trust a lot of people to do what I need them to do for.
Probably pretty hard to cut a barber's hair because they're going to be a tough client to please.
Yeah, they're the most probably picky one.
Yeah,
that's probably why it's looking pretty rough. But
yeah,
that's neither here nor there. I still try to keep it clean and somewhat contained. So we got being an example. Yeah, those lines do look pretty good, I must say.
Don't they?
Yeah, buddy. Anyway. Yeah, so I mean, the thing is we got a lot of good things going in South Dakota. Obviously, we are a free state. We are open carry.
Yep.
And
got a great governor, Kristi Noem.
Great governor. She is doing a fantastic job. And a lot of people want to hate on her still, and for the pettiest reasons. And
yeah, but I think most of that's here in Sioux Falls, actual Sioux Falls, the largest city. But I think statewide, more spread out, you don't find quite as much of that.
I know I got into it a little while ago with a lady on Twitter who lives over on the West River, and she kind of got on Kristi Noem about something. And I said, what exactly are you complaining about? Because we're free here. We're not shut down. Nobody's dying in hospitals. You could maybe get sick, but it's not like you're dying there's not a lot of people really suffering substantially from this. It's nothing worse than the flu. From anybody I've heard that said they actually had it or whatever, it said they had it for a couple of days and they were back to work.
Yeah. Well, they're fed the same stuff. It's all the same propaganda, and you'd think that being a pretty conservative state here in South Dakota, that our local media would be more conservative, and we do have some. But the Argus Leader is owned by the Gannett, which also owns like USA Today. And in fact, if you look, there was I don't even remember what the article was, but I saw the Argus Leader a couple days ago sitting in the lunchroom at work. Saw the cover page, and then yesterday I was looking and I came across the USA Today article, had the exact same picture. So they're obviously, it's so I Googled it. Of course, it's owned by Gannett, the same people that own the Argus Leader. So they're being fed their propagandizing headlines from the Gannett. It's not something that the Argus Leader is doing. This is something that they're feeding in, as I have Argus Leader up back there.
Yeah, right. No, actually, and that's where I'm getting a lot of my information from anyways.
Man, they're going so far left too. It's crazy. But they're being driven by their
owners.
So
that's why we're here, man. I mean, we already know that our local news isn't going to tell us the truth.
No.
And we really have to sometimes be our own press and our own resources for stuff. And even though we are counting on them to tell us certain things like what's going on with this thing that happened down the street here, we still want to look into things that they're not telling us, things that they are trying to force the narrative on. Those are the ones that you kind of got to, give them the corner of your eye look, because those are the narratives that they're not talking about that we are trying to find out.
Yeah. It's sad that we have to go search for the truth.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they say that the media is now the least amount of trusted resource out there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty sad.
Bet.
Like, we counted on the media for a long, long time, and they knew that, and they abused it. Now nobody trusts them for anything.
No, I know. They got to be on the list of the least trusted people. You got, who's the least trusted people? Politicians, lawyers, media.
Right.
Did I nail the top three there?
Yeah, I think so. I can't even remember the list, but I just remember that
I don't know
media
if
was
that's part of my list.
way down at the bottom. Like,
Yeah.
holy man, that's brutal. That's brutal for them, because we want to get facts. We don't want to get biased, and
Right.
Trump is exposing the shit out of that. Pardon my French, but he is exposing them for what they are. And I noticed that right away. I said that yesterday in my podcast, was the smear campaign is obvious. It's not even, they're not even hiding it. They're not even being nice about it. It is just brutal. And so that makes you wonder right off the bat, what is it that they're mad about? And that's when I started looking into stuff. That's when I started asking questions. That's when I started following people that had information, getting stuff from you and other people. It's really starting to help put all this into perspective, because before, like, a lot of people that come into my shop, we don't care much about politics. We never have.
Yeah.
And now that I'm a business owner, there's a lot of other aspects to that I had to take into play. And I started having to pay attention. Obviously, for one, we didn't have any sports and shit.
Yeah.
I had some withdrawals, and then I started having to follow Trump and everything else. And next thing you know, I started realizing that there was some truth to what he was saying, and that he was backing up his word. And then you start watching the news to see what they were saying about it, and they had some narrative and were just ugly. And I was like, hold on, let's turn to the other station. Same thing. And then he just was like, all right, time out. We are not in high school. You don't need to be bashing some girl because of whatever, or some guy because you just don't like him and you don't want somebody else talking to him. That's what it felt like. They were just, well, we don't like him, so we're just going to talk a bunch of shit about him. Well, that might be.
It was bigger than that. Yeah, it's bigger than that. It's not that they don't like him.
They hate him.
Yeah.
They want him gone. Other than the fact that we want Trump gone.
It's because they have something to hide. They have something to hide, and he's exposing. This is what draining the swamp looks like. This is what it looks like. And when you start draining the swamp, and the big scary monsters at the bottom of the swamp that have been lurking down there for years, when the water starts receding and they start becoming exposed, what are they going to do? They're going to kick, they're going to thrash, they're going to do everything they can to not be exposed, and that's what we're seeing right now. So, you want to lead? Should we lead into my theory I was telling you about today?
Yeah, actually, I'm pretty interested in what you had going on there, so I would love for you to share that with everybody tonight.
Yeah, so there's been a lot of theories thrown around about what's going to happen with the election, with all the mail-in ballot and the fraud. And I mean, clearly there is some intentions of fraud here. I mean, they wouldn't push this mail-in ballot so hard if there wasn't some intention there. And so you can go for the obvious that they're trying to use it to elect Trump, and or to elect Biden and use that mail-in system. But I've been doing some digging, and actually I kind of stumbled upon an article that got me looking into this. And then ironically, a few days later, Dan Bongino, I watch him, or I listen to his podcast every day, and he started getting into it. He had a little bit of a different theory, but it kind of tied into mine, and I kind of made a little bit of a link there that I don't know if it's right, but I'm pretty sure it is. There's a few things that I need to look a little deeper into. There's just a couple of little loose ends that I don't know what the answer is. But so here's what I'm thinking is going on. Okay, so sorry to shake here. So I don't think that they're going to use the mail-in ballots to fraudulently elect Biden, even though they're going into this narrative that he expect Trump to win the initial polls, and then a week or two later, when all the mail-in ballots come in, Biden's going to win by a landslide. I don't really buy that. I think that that's a lot of smoke and mirror. I think what they're doing is they're using the mail-in ballot to rig the House election because they don't want to lose the House. So while it's kind of like the whole like, why, where's the camera? Watch this hand, and then the other one's behind the back, right?
Sure,
so as soon as you stop watching this hand and take a look at what's going on behind the back, you start to see a few things. So watch this hand right now is they're going to use the mail-in ballots to rig the presidential election, but I don't think they are. So here's how we'll get into it. So I think what they're going to do is they're going to try to drag this out past the January 20th so that there's no actual president elected at that time, or there's no clear winner. And then it would naturally go to Nancy Pelosi. Then I read that she's also up for re-election. So if she's up for re-election, she has to be the congressional election needs to be decided by January 3rd, so that there's a new Congress in effect, and then they go through get to the presidential term that starts on January 20th, right? So if they don't hold the House, then there will be a new House Speaker voted on before January 20th. They could rush it through, whether it's Republican or Democrat. So they have to hold that House.
Sure.
And now, what Dan Bongino was talking about, and if you want to go on there, or anybody else wants to go on Dan Bongino, it's episode 1331, and it's about a half hour into the episode. Then from there till close to the end of the episode, he talks about it in detail. And once you get done posting this on your YouTube, I'll go and send all the links and comments so people can read the references. Okay. Sure. But what he's saying is there's laws in place, and it creates a timeline for what has to happen during the election on when things need to be done and when they need to be decided. And December 14th, all of the electoral votes need to be in order for them to be valid. If they're
Sure.
not, if an electoral vote is not cast by then, it becomes voided out. It's not valid. So, but here's the thing. Here's a term, I don't know if you've heard of it, but the term faithless elector. A faithless elector is so do you understand the Electoral College, how that all works?
I'm learning.
Basic idea. Okay, so basically there's 100 members in the Senate. There's 2 senators per state, and then
Sure.
there's 438 members of the House. So there's 538. I could be off a couple digits, but there's about that many electoral votes. It's one for every Congress member. And so what they do is they take the popular vote of their state that they represent, and they cast their vote for that popular
Electoral.
vote. Yeah, for the popular vote, whether it's in this case Biden or Trump. But what an elector can do in certain states, they can refuse to cast their vote for the popular vote. So if a state has Trump as a popular vote,
they can refuse to turn that in.
They can refuse to turn that in. Yep. Now there's some states that they have to, by law, it's part of their oath, or the contract that they sign when they take that seat. And there's a map for that, and I can also post that later on. But There's a few very interesting states that there's no penalty, and there's they basically can. And two big swing states, Wisconsin and Ohio. So if the Wisconsin or Ohio popular vote goes to Trump, any of the House members or the Senate members that are maybe Democrat that don't like, or a never Trumper that's a Republican that doesn't like Trump, they can refuse to cast their vote. Now, here's the thing: Dan Bongino swears that by December 14th, that any of those people that decide to be a faithless elector, they have to decide that, or their vote is null and void. But it's not in the Constitution; it's just a law. And as we've noticed, the Democrats are notorious for manipulating the law.
Very true.
So I think what they're going to do is they're going to have faithless electors in any of these states that have Trump as a popular vote, which is what they're expecting, because they've already said that they're expecting a popular vote until these mail-in ballots come in. But I don't really buy all that. I think that's a false flag, or smoke and mirrors.
Sure.
I think that they're going to we're going to see a lot of faithless electors that are trying to, and there's some states that have a penalty, but there's like a $500 penalty or $1,000 penalty. And then their vote has to be decided by the governor. So if you have, let's take Wisconsin, for example, again, they have a Democratic governor. So they could, if they have to have a vote in by December 14th, the governor can cast that vote for a Democrat, and then that's what it is. Now, if there's any threat to, if there's any indecision by December 14th and a faithless elector's vote is threatened to not be cast, they can take it to court. We see this all the time with them. They take it to court because it's just a law. It's not a constitution. It doesn't need to be voted on by Congress. All they need is a federal judge to tell them that they can do what they want to do. And we know that there's plenty of very far left liberal federal judges, somebody out of New York or California, and then they can delay it just long enough. All they got to do is delay it for, what would that be, like 5 weeks? 5 weeks is all I have to do to delay it. And then January 20th, when if there is president decided on no clear winner, then it goes to the House of Representatives, to the House Speaker. That's the reason why they absolutely must win the House. Wow. If the Republicans flip the House, then on January 3rd, they can rush through to vote in their new Speaker of the House.
Sure.
And then if they try to delay this past the 20th, it's a Republican that goes into office to hold the spot, basically.
Right. So she won't go in there, or whoever it is won't go in there and undo what Trump just basically did for our country, like Nancy Pelosi wants to go do when she gets in there, if she gets in there.
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. That's some deep stuff right there, man. That's good information.
Yeah. So now there's one other spin, and I guess I can't see how this works, because if there's a new House and a new Congress, a House Speaker has to be nominated as well. But in the House or in the Senate, there's more Republicans up for re-election than there are Democrats.
Sure.
So if for some reason, I don't know exactly how it would work and if it would work, but if there's no House Speaker, if there's no House Speaker on January 20th, let's say, the congressional race has not been decided, okay, and Nancy Pelosi loses her seat on January 3rd because there's no winner decided on that one, okay. There's no House Speaker. Next, it goes to a title that's held by someone in the Senate. It's called the President Pro Tempore, I think is how it's pronounced, and it's basically pro tempore. Yeah, it's president for now is what it stands for. I think it's Latin for that. Anyways, it's basically the equivalent of the House Speaker. They are the heir to the vice president's seat. So if they're like basically fourth in line, and that is something that's voted on by the House or by the Senate, and it usually goes to the Senate seat holder, the longest holding seat holder of the party that leads the Senate. And right now it's a Republican, Chuck Grassley. But the funny thing is, here's the kicker: if the House election has not been decided, then the Senate election has not been decided, and then there's more Republicans up for nominate or a re-election than there are Democrats. And if those seats become vacant, then now the Democrats control the Senate. And then they would vote on their own president pro tempore, which they can go out of tradition and vote whoever they want: Bernie Sanders, Kamala Harris, Cory Booker. Who else is a senator in there? Those are the three that I can think of off the top of my head. So
I have no idea.
So it's kind of an entangled web, but I don't see how that second one could really happen. It'd be a tough one. They would have to. The only way that could happen is if the congressional race is not decided on by January 3rd, and the House doesn't have a speaker, and the Senate flips. But that would be crazy. I don't know. I mean, we're obviously in uncharted territory.
Now, they're still trying to push this mail-in voting for these, whatever. Are they just trying to do this for the one state, or like for the whole country, or are they just doing these for these 5 states that have already been doing this, or how is this thing progressing into what we're going to see as a nation? Because I don't want to be voting by mail, and I just want to go in there and stamp my thing and be on my way and get my sticker and put it on my hat like I did the other one.
Let me see here if I can find that. But there's only certain states that are actively sending out ballots right now. And
sure. Well, because I know there was only like a handful of states that have actually already been doing this, from what I was understanding, and Florida and DC or some other. I can't.
Well, yeah, but it's different. That's absentee ballot. Which the thing with an absentee ballot, I've never done it before, so I don't have any personal experience to it. But from how I understand how it works is you have to request it. It's not an unsolicited ballot that's just sent to you.
Sure.
You have to request it, and you have to verify your address, and you have to have a proof of ID and everything like that. So,
isn't that what we should be doing anyways? Isn't that what Trump was wanting?
That's what I've been saying. Why? What's wrong with the absentee ballot? Now, there's certain states with restrictions. So here's the easy restriction, or here's the easy solution. Just lift those restrictions for this year. Lift those restrictions countrywide and let everybody use the absentee ballot process. But they don't want that. That's why they're pushing for this, because that has to be verified. There's checks and balances, and you can go in and verify your. I think you can go in and verify your vote. There's a way to track it, I guess.
Well, that's what I wanted to do. I think I was talking about that today with one of my clients. Is I wish that after we vote, we could go in there and make sure our vote counted and was what we had voted originally. So it's not just showing us some BS or whatever, or we don't even know if it went in. Because a lot of the times, how do you even know?
Yeah.
We've heard lots of rumors of votes not even being gone through. And so I just don't want us to be in that situation where we don't even know what the hell if our votes are in or not, because they got so much so many other things going on that we are not noticing it. We're just like, oh, it's going to count. Look at the numbers and blah, blah, blah. It's got to be in there somewhere. But, we have never been able to really track that. And I think the only way that you can do that is through that absentee ballot.
Yeah, the absentee ballot process. Yeah, absolutely.
Or like a Bitcoin thing. The Bitcoin,
The
I heard that the post
blockchain,
office blockchain.
blockchain voting. Yep.
Because you also have to have a verified identification, and so therefore it can't be fraud.
And not just that, but the cool thing with the blockchain process is and I don't know how I don't know how to explain this. I can picture it in my head. I don't know how to explain it, but basically, you're with like Bitcoin blockchain, and what the voting process would be is the blockchain is locked. When you cast your vote, it goes into like this imaginary block, okay? And anytime that block is opened or changed, there's a code to it, and every single time anything is changed, it generates a new code, and so you can verify whether it's been opened or changed or not. So,
Sure.
I guess in theory, if you cast a blockchain vote, then you should be able to get a code, and then you can verify your vote by verifying that code. And if it was changed or manipulated, it would have a different code.
Sure.
So that's kind of in a real, big nutshell. It's far more complex than that, and I'm not the right one to talk about that. But so I found the list. Didn't mean to interrupt you, but I found the list of states that are doing the automatic mail-in ballots. It's Colorado, Hawaii, Oregon, Utah, which freaking Mitt Romney, and Washington. Is that Washington? I think it's Washington State. And with the absentee ballot, some of the restrictions is called like no excuse states, where you can apply for it without needing any kind of certain excuse. You can just apply for the absentee ballot. And then the excuse states are the ones where you need to have an excuse, like I'm going to be out of country or out of the state during, when election takes place. See, if they just lifted all those restrictions for absentee ballots, problem solved.
Right.
Problem solved. Just have no excuse nationwide for this year.
I mean, the way I see this thing going down is Trump's going to win this thing with a landslide, and they're going to try to say it's some sort of fraud, some sort of, cheating, and then they're going to dump a bunch of mail-in votes or some stupid shit in the thing and say, oh, look at all these didn't count. Well, where did they even come from? Who are these people? That's how you're not even going to know if they're valid or not. And then it's going to be, well, we got to have another recount, and blah, blah, blah. And then there's going to be more riots, other. But I also heard something.
The flaw in that, like you're talking about, like what Josh on Red Pill Project talks about. I think the flaw in that, and I would love to talk to him about this, and he could correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the flaw in that is if the mail ballots are questioned, then all of the the congressional elections are also being questioned, because those are also going to be on the mail-in ballots. It's not just the presidential one; it's the presidential and the congressional seats that are up for re-election. Sure. So if those go into litigation, so let's say Trump wins by a landslide with everything, and then they say, oh, this is clearly fraud. We're going to court. We're going to drag this thing through court, and we're going to be checking the voting system, these mail-in ballots. Well, they just kind of shit in their own pants. Now all of a sudden, Nancy Pelosi's position might not be there on January 3rd. She might be gone. So the way to get around that is this faithless elector. It's not the ballots that they're questioning in court. The ballots are fine in court, right? It's the faithless elector process that they're questioning in court if they bring it to court. And I think that's how they're going to get around that.
Wow, interesting.
That's my thought.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, because then that's kind of putting the cart before the horse in a sense, trying to beat the race to the end, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
they're basically trying to get ahead of the thing here.
unless secretly they don't want Nancy Pelosi to take the helm, and they're okay with that. Maybe if they go after, if they draw the ballots out in court, then they might want to have a scenario where Nancy Pelosi loses her seat. There's no Speaker of the House, and it goes over to the Senate. Maybe they have somebody in the Senate that they want, because they know that just by not having the seats elected, or the re-elections determined in the Senate, that the Senate's now going to be Democratic, and they can elect whoever they want. They can elect Bernie or Kamala. They can just bring Kamala in. She's already, isn't that crazy? She could be the vice president nominee, and she can end up being the president. And there you go. And then drag it out. Did you know that this this faithless voter issue has been going through court since the 2016 election, and it was just decided on. There's some people were challenging it, and it was just decided on this past June. They had to fast track it. That's 4 years. That's 4 years. So they could drag this out if they get it into court and they have somebody sit into the presidential position temporarily. They could drag it out for 4 years, a whole term.
Well, this is why I said also that when people ask me who's going to go for president in 2024, and I said Donald Trump, and they were like, no, 2024. And I said, Donald Trump. And they're like, how would that even be possible? And I said, well, meddling in an election would be kind of a violation of his ability to run the country efficiently if there has been meddling in his presidency.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, he should be elected another term, obviously, for the fact of the matter of them interfering with his ability to do his job at a capacity worth being a president.
Right, and he kind of hinted at that. He said that he was in one of his rallies. He says, you want to drive him really crazy, say 16 more years, or 12 more years.
Well, that's what I think is going to happen, is because when you have election meddling, it's going to obviously allow you to have another term, because they've interfered with your last term. So when you have some,
I don't know. I
don't really know what the answer is for the law on that. But as far as I've been hearing, that this is a possibility that could actually happen, especially if he has to file martial law and shut the country down before this whole thing happens. Because even then, your whole election goes out the window. The whole thing with Nancy Pelosi taking over the presidency goes out the window. We basically go on hold until this whole thing ends.
Maybe that's the October surprise, huh?
Well, that's the only other way I can see this thing not going into a shit show after we decide to show the world who's all getting in trouble here. Once they arrest Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama and even Joe Biden, because he's in trouble right now for the fucking shit in Russia. So what do you think's going to happen? They keep showing, every time another body cam thing comes out, they find another victim to get behind. They're really trying hard to keep behind something to use this motivation on these rallies and these peaceful protests, as you want to call them. But they're not doing nothing but causing more whatever. Riots. Let's just call it burning the place down.
Mm-hmm.
So realistically, it's going to get worse before it gets better if we don't see a martial law.
Absolutely.
And if it does get worse, he's going to have to do that, especially if these people go down. And they're going to be like, oh, you're just messing with the election, you blah, blah, blah. These people have to get arrested and go down sometime or another. He can't wait until after that election and take that chance, because if they do win the election, everybody goes home scot-free, get out of jail free card. And you and I and every one of us that's been on YouTube and Twitter and all that stuff are in deep shit.
Yeah, we
Because they
are
are coming right for us.
gonna be
They are
like that
coming
lady
for
in
us.
Australia that got arrested for posting something on Facebook. Did you see that?
No.
Yeah, I was sending you the video of that, but yeah, a lady, cop showed up to her house, served her a search warrant, arrested her right in front of her kids. She was pregnant, and she said that she had to go to an ultrasound in an hour, and they arrested her because for like inciting violence because she had started like a Facebook event for a protest.
No
No
way.
lie. No lie.
Wow.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying there, though? Like, that is how easy it is for them to see who we are. They're probably watching us right now, like, oh, I can't wait to get voted in because we're voting right for you. But, we're
Like a
trying to
small potato
expose
thing,
this. And so if they don't get this under control before that is over, we are going to see a cleansing on biblical level like you did in the Holocaust kind of deal. They're going to go door to door. They're going to roust your guns. They're going to roust out anybody who has guns and put you in a fucking cage. You know what I mean? They're going to start this whole thing over again. And if you don't turn in your gun and they find a gun on you, they will execute you on sight. So we do not want that here. We have to be smarter and more diligent and not allow these people to get into office. That's why he has to have this happen before the election. And when this happens, you're going to start to see the people back in the streets. Soros is going to fund a bunch more fucking people, probably bail half the people out of jail to get these guys out on the streets. Yeah, I'll get you out of jail if you guys go out and put your lives at risk and go chase down a 17-year-old on the street.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, though? But what I'm saying is the thing is they got to get to the point where this place is chaos and blame it on Trump. This whole thing is going to be blamed on Trump. And they're trying to free their dog in the fight, and that's not really working. I don't see how this whole thing they feel like is going to pan out in their behalf because half the people aren't even really going to be voting that are out there. And the rest of us that are watching are like, I don't want to be on that side.
I think they're at their at nuclear option right now. I think this is last resort. Like, the kid that's losing at Monopoly and just takes the bottom of the board and says, "Fuck this," and just everything is they just destroy it all. If I can't win, nobody can win. I think that's what they're at right now,
dude.
I think that's what we're seeing right now.
Well, like, remember when that explosion happened, and then we started seeing fires. And China
all
burnt down.
Yeah.
Oh, it was all back to back. That was all the people at the table who were in this game folding their hand right off the bat. And now, like you just said, now that the game's over, you need to stop. Sorry. And she, you just saw everybody getting mad because they didn't win the game. And now, like you just said, well, if I can't have it, nobody can. And now they're just mad about everything and burning it all down. Like, screw the whole system. We're just going to burn the whole country, and you guys can't have it either since we couldn't have it.
Yep.
And, that just goes to show you that they've already lost. If they're burning things down and they're shutting everything up and they're trying to back everybody into a corner, that means that they've lost the game already.
Unless their little militias can take over, if their militias can strong hand us or strong arm us into submission, but it ain't working.
No, that's not. I mean, they really think they're going to bully us into changing our minds. That's the thing that I don't understand is they really think that this tactic is working to change people's minds to vote for Biden.
That
just doesn't seem like it'd be a smart move on my half.
Ask the British how it was bullying the Americans around. How'd that work out for them?
Well, especially for people like me and you, we're middle class Americans who work paycheck to paycheck and have a house and kids and stuff to fight for, and we have weapons to protect our businesses and stuff. We're the ones going to be out there fighting. Not these little libertards kids playing Fortnite in their fucking mom and dad's basement and stuff thinking they're cool. They're not going to be the ones protecting this country. It's going to be me and you, the people who are earning money in this country for a living. and we're working our asses off. That's 90% of the people in this country. The rest of them want to get a free paycheck and, not to be bashing any of these websites or anything, but they just want to get free money,
Yeah.
I don't want to say it because I don't want to get in trouble because we're streaming, but
I know what you're saying. I gotcha.
It's not a want to work state or world anymore. We want free money. We want the money from the people who are working to pay for the people who are not working. And it's just not,
everybody's so entitled.
Not the way life should be.
They feel like they deserve this and deserve that. I don't even know what the post was, but it had to do with, it said something about healthcare is not a right. You can't demand somebody else's service. Basically saying it's not a right. You can't demand a doctor work on you. You can't demand a healthcare service. And somebody said, well, isn't school basically the same thing then? And I was like, no, it's mandated. There's truancy laws. Have you ever heard of them? People have this mentality that they just they just deserve it because they exist.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. There was a time where I was almost on board with all that when I was younger. I felt like that was kind of the thing to do. I was all about the police and there comes a time when you grow up and things start becoming a reality to you and you start realizing how things actually are. And that to me was one of those deals where it was a tough day to kind of wake up to.
Real life slaps you in the face. I know I had a Facebook memory come up
when you have a whole change of heart. Go ahead.
I had a Facebook memory come up from years ago, and it was about Occupy Wall Street. Remember that? And I supported Occupy Wall Street, and I that popped up, and I just shook my head. I was like, oh man, because I can't. I moved here from Minnesota, so I had a little bit of that. Sure. I was born or not born there, but raised there. So I kind of grew up a little bit of that Democratic view, not real hard liberal, but. And then now living here in South Dakota for almost 15 years, that's kind of turned me conservative. But I saw that pop up. I was like, oh, man, how things change.
It's funny because I was talking about this earlier, too. It's a role reversal from when I was younger because I was as far like a kind of a leftist and didn't even know it. And then there's people that I knew who were like cop collars and Mr. Goody Two Shoes and, American 100%, you know what I mean? Just straight edge kind of people. Well, now it's like I'm on the other side, back to blue. We need cops to protect people from my dumb ass when I was a kid. Right. And we need some law and order to keep these people in whatever. And this guy now is all, fight the power, stand up against, and I'm like, what the hell is going on in this world, man? This thing is all backwards and upside down and crooked right now. Like, I went from listening to rap music, like, F the police, F the police. And it was just, but you realize that police are necessary. They are just trying to do their job. They have the most dangerous job in the world next to the military probably. And they don't get paid shit. They don't get paid a damn dime, man. They get paid
not for what they do.
So you try to be a cop. If people think that they got it all figured out, want to wonder how bad they're doing at their job, well, if you got it figured out, go be a cop. Quit that $1 billion basketball job and go be a cop, Mr. LeBron James. Speaking of which, we should probably get into some scores.
Yeah, let's get into here.
But
switch gears a little bit here.
Yeah, some of these teams here kind of getting a little out of hand with this political stuff. As much as I love sports and everything, they're kind of still ruining it for me, even though I want to give these guys some love and some coverage. It's kind of hard to want to follow anything right now, but
I saw that the Lakers' big win was the big loss of the night too, because they were the least viewed game of them all.
oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
That does not surprise me. I saw that Cam Newton is now the starting quarterback for the New England Patriots. They just announced that today, sources say.
Who would have thought? I never thought I would see the day that Tom Brady was with a different team.
Right?
I
in
never
Tampa.
thought I'd see that day. Yeah.
Him and Gronk both are down there killing it right now, which is pretty kind of cool. But
yeah,
TB and down in TB, woo, that's going to be pretty fun to watch, man. I can't lie. But,
didn't they snag somebody else too?
Oh, they picked up a lot of people. To be honest with you, I can't remember all because I
haven't been paying close attention
for a while.
Yeah.
So now that I'm getting back into it, we're going to start paying more attention, and I'll be on it again like I used to. But yeah, it looks like the Cowboys released free agent Clinton Dix. They just signed him here in this offseason. Looks like they were going to give him a workout, and he didn't last very long. So I know that the Vikings were in some shit. They had Kirk Cousins was in the news for saying he had coronavirus, and if he dies, he dies. He's okay with it. And so, you know, the world got their pennies in a bunch. I was watching ESPN today, and they were like, oh, my God, he's so insensitive to everybody who's dying. And I wish I could have been on that lady's podcast and be like, what, the 9,600 and some odd people who ended up really dying from corona?
Yeah, and not from motorcycle accidents and
and other incidences. Maybe the 53% of them were old people in old folks' homes and stuff like that. How about let's get to the real point here?
Yeah,
you know, he was just saying that if he dies, he dies. He's leaving that in God's hands. They're not saying that he's insensitive to the situation. He's just leaving everything up to God. And that, to me, is none of our goddamn business. Pardon my French.
That's right.
Leave the man alone. Anyway, moving on.
Free country, free will.
Yeah, right? So it looks like Seahawks signed Gordon again. Oh, wow. There you go.
Signed who?
Josh Gordon, the old Cleveland Brown. He ended up signing with them, I believe, the end of last year and did pretty well. But, you know, that's how the Seahawks like to roll. They pick those big wide receivers. They
pick up people from other teams all the time. Yeah. Man, for a while they're the Vikings dumping ground with Tavares Jackson, rest in peace. Sidney Rice, Percy Harvin, Longwell. They even picked up the Vikings like offensive coordinator and.
Oh man, we could. You didn't mention like John Randall.
Way back. Yeah, you're going way back,
dude. Yeah. You already said Percy Harvin, Sidney Rice, dude. There's a whole bunch of them. A couple of linebackers, I do believe, ended up going over there. There's a lot of people ended up over in Seattle from Minnesota. They just end up like in that northwest. It's a nice area up there, and I don't know if they have a connection with our owner because it seems like they have some sort of connection with them.
Yeah, I wonder.
But that's neither here nor there.
That's basically where Vikings players go to die.
Yeah, right. Retirement zone.
Because that's where they fizzle out.
Yeah. Looks like Jameis Winston is down in New Orleans, and looks like he's looking to finish up his career behind Drew Brees. Hopefully, his arm gets a little better. Watching that pro do it. Just saying. Drew Brees was on the good side there for a while, and I know he's friends with Donald Trump, so I don't understand why he took this far left turn. And basically bowed down.
I'm sure it's all show. I mean, cancel culture, man.
It's that network shit, man. They own most of the networks, and as soon as they step outside of the narrative, the network's going to cancel them and take their TV rights away because they're going to be speaking on stuff that isn't on their narrative.
Yep.
So, anyways, that looks like a lot of the good topics for the day, anyhow. There's a lot of other things going on. Leonard Fournette's going to the Bucks from the Jaguars, so they're adding more weapons. But we're going to see. This football season starts here in a couple weeks, 10 weeks from today. I know Vikings play the Green Bay Packers in week 1 at 1 o'clock. And I want to watch that game, but then again, I don't, because both those teams right now are in shit cities or shit states that are causing a bunch of chaos and ruining it for everybody else. And I don't know if I even want to be a part of supporting that.
I've already made up my mind on what I'm going to do.
Yeah, I'm tossed because, I'm a lifelong Vikings fan, and I don't know. I'll pray on it, and if God has good answers for me, we'll go with what He has, and I can live with that.
Yeah.
So it looks like Boston leads the series against Toronto. Toronto snuck this last game out tonight with a last-second buzzer beater. So Boston leads the series 2-1 in that series right now. The LA Clippers lead the series now against the Denver Nuggets. They beat them pretty handedly tonight, 120-97. Wow, that's an ass whooping. Denver, you need to quit smoking weed and get on it, man. LA just kicked that ass like gangsters down there. They're walking like Denver Nuggets. Anyhow, it's walked all over that ass, man. You better wake up. Put the blunt down, bro. Cali got the better weed anyways. Just saying. But, all right. So that pretty much covers our sports for the night.
What's up, Nathan Jones?
Oh, I forgot about this, though. It looks like Steve Nash. Wow, Steve Nash is now your new head coach of the Brooklyn Nets. So
yeah, I saw that.
Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant now have an old school type point guard to show these guys kind of how to do it. And I wish Steve Nash could have played in the NBA right now because he would light these people up. He used to say I could hit those threes that Curry, be shooting, but he didn't want to show off. So I believe it. I really do. I think that dude could have been hitting threes all his whole career, and people would have been like on his nuts like Steph Curry.
Steve
But that's
Nash.
dude.
Watching him and Dirk Nowitzki.
Oh, dude, they had the 1-2 punch back in the day. I was so in love with watching that.
So I saw with him taking that coaching position, one of the NBA commentators was kind of up in arms about it. Did you see anything about that?
Stephen A. Smith. Oh,
that's
my
what I thought. Yeah, Stephen A.
gosh.
Smith. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Dude, yeah. I
Did you read anything about that? I just saw a headline. I didn't actually read it.
I kind of tried to watch it. Stephen A., he's tough to watch sometimes, man, because the guy is really dramatic, and he thinks everything is so, like, racially upsetting and bounded and blah, blah, blah. Well, this is completely – but he forgets that Doc Rivers and a couple of these NBA coaches that are in the NBA didn't have coaching experience either before they got their head coaching job, just like Nash did.
Oh, but that's what he said about no coaching experience?
Well, that's what he's saying, and he thinks that it's a white privilege thing because he got his job without any coaching experience. And for me, it matters about the health. It matters about your ability to run a team, your ability to relate with the team, your ability to coach players in your own way to get to them to be able to function properly. And that's what he's looking to do. And I don't think it has anything to do with race. I think he's a great fit for that team. And I think they're going to be really good to watch, really fun to watch. I would love to see Brooklyn Nets and the Clippers in the finals. And I would watch that series. That would be a really good series to watch. Kyrie and Durant versus Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. Sign me up. I'm in. Unless you get my Timberwolves. Which reminds me, man, come on, Wolves. Let's go. Let's trade that number 1 pick for Devin Booker and get our big three together, D'Angelo Russell, Devin Booker, and man, Cat, are you kidding me? 1, 2, 3 all day. I put us in the playoffs. I swear to God, we'll be the number 6. We'll be in there. So,
hey,
all right, moving on.
Oh,
Yeah.
speaking of basketball, a little kind of off topic, but same topic. Do you see Michael Jordan bought into DraftKings, became an investor of DraftKings?
I did not see that.
Yep.
I did not. I saw that Kevin Garnett was trying to buy the Timberwolves, and I haven't heard much about that lately. I know that was kind of an ugly situation for a while, but I don't know if he's still in the running for that, but I'm hoping on it.
You talking about Nash and not having experience, and I don't know how that popped in my mind about Jordan and DraftKings, but I thought, oh, well, Jordan's got experience with gambling, right?
Yeah. Burn. Bazinga. So, on to other news. Sioux Falls Weather Center. We had 59 degrees right now and clear skies with a 5% chance of rain through 11 p.m., which I doubt it. There's not a cloud in the sky. It's actually really, really beautiful out there right now. Looks like it's supposed to be 62 in the morning, 73 in the afternoon, a little bit of clouds, 59 in the evening, and another beautiful 55-degree night. That's a beautiful night. That's a beautiful day. I can definitely sleep well with the windows open when the days are that, chill. So if you guys like the windows open, it's a good night for that. Let's go on to the 10-day. I know that they said that the forecast for the weekend is supposed to look pretty nice. So if you got anything going for Saturday, it's supposed to be 89, which is beautiful. 89 degrees on a Saturday is beautiful around here. So it looks like they changed it up a little bit. 89 degrees for a high on Saturday, low of 69 with mostly sunny. 0% chance of rain with a southeast wind of 15 miles an hour. Sunday, they increased it to 94 degrees. Wow, that's going to be a really nice day. With a low of 60, mostly sunny. 0% chance of rain with a west-northwest wind at 12 miles an hour. Beautiful, beautiful weekend. Let's get out and enjoy some sun. How about that, South Dakota?
I like that.
So it looks like Monday is still looking like it's going to be low 60s, mid 60s, kind of cloudy, 20% chance of rain with a northeast wind at 17 miles an hour, which is kind of a shitty Monday. Crap. Oh, man. Sorry, pardon my French.
It's another manic Monday, right?
Podcast. Yeah, oh, yeah. It's definitely a day for a Monday, though, if you got work. Tuesday looks like we're going to have some AM showers, high of 53, low of 40, 40% chance of showers, so it's pretty close, so we're going to end up with some rain that day, but I doubt it. With a north wind of 18 miles an hour. I can do the weather too, man. I don't have to be right. Right?
No. I've always said there's only one place that I'd ever want to be a weatherman. That's in San Diego. Sunny, sunny, sunny,
Never changes.
sunny.
I know in South Dakota, you just got to wait 10 minutes and the weather's going to change.
Right.
So
throw darts at a board.
Yeah, right. So Wednesday, 61. Thursday, looking 68, low of 45. A little percent chance of rain, 10%. Fridays, Saturdays looks like it's going to warm up again, 70, 77. Mostly sunny, partly cloudy on Friday, 20% chance of rain. So it doesn't look like it's going to probably rain very much. Going into the weekend, looks like Saturday is going to be a high of 77, low of 50. Sunday is going to be 75. That's not this weekend, but the weekend after that. So we got a pretty low cold front coming in for next week, early in the week. Then it's going to get back into the mid 70s. So we should finish out the week with a fairly cool week next week. But this weekend, get out, enjoy the sun. 80s, 90s is a great day to have in South Dakota.
It's good.
Soon
good Labor Day weekend.
Cold. Yeah, absolutely. Labor Day weekend. I forgot about that too. So you guys enjoy the weekend. Have some fun. Go grill some food. Maybe find a campsite. Get with the fam. Show some love. And you know how we do it in South Dakota. So, yeah, it was a good show tonight, man. We had a lot of good topics, a lot of good discussions. I really liked where you were going with that mail-in voting thing. That's a lot of food for thought for people. I think that it's a great way for them to kind of manipulate the mail-in voting before it even gets to the presidential election, so that they can assure that they have their dog still in the fight if that thing ends up going as far as January.
Yeah, so keep your ears open for that word, faithless elector. Keep your ears open for that.
Good info, man. Great stuff tonight. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to close it up tonight. I know there's probably not a lot of people in the stream, but if you're around, give us a shout out from where you're at. We will say goodbye and say hello at the same time on our way out the door. I want to say thank you to Travis again for his wonderful insight and his knowledge and joining us on the broadcast tonight. We definitely want to do this many, many more times. This is the first of many shows for us. And we got a lot of stuff to share with you guys, a lot of information. I'm learning stuff and new things every day, and it is fun. It's actually an interesting dynamic to be able to get on here and share it with people. So there's the Sufu crew in the house, Mr. Nathan Jones in me. Yes, sir. So thank you for joining the podcast tonight. Looks like, ESPN's on the Big TM. Now all the good stuff's coming on right when we're closing it up, man. Can you believe that? But anyways, we'll save it for another day. We got more shows to come. So stay tuned tomorrow, 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. Nathaniel's Barbershop Chat Daily Cut coming for you every single day. Saturdays, we're going to do another special guest. We'll do an interview with somebody who wants to talk about a specific topic, whether it be their business or an art project or gaming, something fun. We're going to figure it out. We haven't picked a guest yet, but we're going to figure that out. Oh, yeah. Sunday, we're going to try to do a service, read a couple things, have a prayer on Sunday morning. So if anybody would like to join us for a quick prayer service, probably about 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, we will be doing a prayer service, quick and easy and down to the point. And we always got to start somewhere, but we like to start simple. So that's the plan for this weekend. But until then, I think tomorrow night I might be on the Red Pill Project. So if you guys are fans of the Red Pill Project, please go over and fan them. I'm sure most of you guys are already fans of them, and that's how you found me, because I'm always over there. But yeah, I'll probably be on their show tomorrow night for a while. So tune in. We got a lot of cool stuff coming. Other than that, you guys are awesome. I love you. God bless. Take care. And once again, God bless. And hopefully everybody wakes up happy and healthy tomorrow. Take care.
Adios, everyone.